Start our journey. You see that? Happy New Year to everyone. It is an outer expression, but we never look inside. What is happening inside us? And then what happens? This is what the delusion is. So, outer expression must depend on inner state. And if it depends on the inner state, I am aware of my delusion. And that is what is all about this text. Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam. You can also say Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Govindam Murhamate. So this master is saying he is addressing the mind, the foolishness of the mind must go. If the foolishness will not go, the delusion will continue, and this delusion will continue the suffering in our life. So, no, you are addressing foolish to me? No, not to your mind that lives in ignorance. Can you say, my consciousness is foolish? You know, every master just simply supplies this thought process to just become aware and know it. My consciousness is very foolish, you know. When you ever say that? We say my mind is foolish. So why mind is foolish? Because the mind lives in ignorance and the mind is deluded. So what should I do? Go Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam. I should recognize this consciousness cannot be tainted, cannot be made foolish. This is all the journey. And then what happens, we just become aware, oh, this is what it is. And then you start the journey of removing this delusion from the mind. And we have discussed there are 7 steps to recognize that foolishness or delusion, 5 steps to understand, and 2 steps to realize. So we are going to add little more. I just, there were in fact, either one master says there is only 5 steps to recognize. Other master says there are 10 steps to recognize. So I made it 7 steps, like 7 wonders of the world, to help you remember. That is the only reason. Otherwise, there is only one delusion that is caused by the ignorance. And the 5 steps, you can relate it to the 5 elements. And then we will continue that there are a couple of steps to realize the delusion. And I can bet you, you remove the delusion from the mind, you will be happy 24 by 7. You'll be in peace 24 by 7. You'll be creative 24 by 7. I can bet you. Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Govindam Bhaj Murdhamate. So I'm addressing that mind, oh foolish mind, return to your senses. I just told you, can you say that my consciousness is foolish or you say my mind is foolish? I identify with the mind and that identification causes the delusion. Consciousness cannot be foolish. Consciousness is the same. It is the same consciousness that recognizes I did foolishness and I came out of the foolishness. Nothing happens to that consciousness. We have to recognize and realize that we are of the nature of that consciousness. That is what the real self is, and that is the message of on this Happy New Year. Happy New Year is an expression outside. It's a ritual. Am I really happy? Am I really happy inside? No, that is foolishness. So should I not say a Happy New Year? No, I should say it. You are contradicting. No, I'm not contradicting. At least by this Happy New Year is just a practice. I cannot say Unhappy New Year. So you see that the first step, the 7 factors, the foolishness means unexamined life. You can say living on an autopilot. An unexamined life is not worth living. Who said this? Socrates. So what happens when I'm not examining my life? My mind is constantly wandering. So I have a scattered mind, a distracted mind, lacking mental clarity. You cannot travel the path until you have become the path itself, Buddha says. Now I'm bringing the different expression, how great masters have explained this. Attachment. So now the mind is scattered. I have to hang on to something. So I have a strong likes and dislikes. And that causes the attachment. Holding on to anything is like holding on to your breath. Just remember this. Digest it and assimilate it. You hold on to ideas that this guy is crazy or this guy is good or this will bring the happiness, any outer situation. So I'm holding on to anything. This is attachment. Make it I'm simplifying it on the New Year's Day. Holding on to anything outside in the world. Why don't you hold on to your real nature? Simple. If you want to hold on to something, hold on to your real self. Just repeat, no, I'm of the nature of peace and happiness. Let me hold on to this thought. See, fourth one, because of that, 3 factors, foolishness, scattered mind, and attachment, now comes the emotional dependence. Now the emotion is going towards that object and that person and that situation and that event. Now, I was telling you about this woman who lives in Mesa. How I know I'm always terribly disturbed every Christmas and every Thanksgiving. Why? Because I invite people and they make me crazy. So don't invite. This is the emotional dependence. Be very clear. Don't hold on to anything, which results into the emotional dependence. And these first 4 factors a, build a person who is living in delusion. And that is known as ego. That is living in on the ego. That is the 5th one. And then what happens? Now, all the 5 factors causes the non-thinking. As a human being, I'm self-aware, so I need to think to take any action. So the non-thinking is intellectual paralysis. No, I'm thinking that you are crazy. That is not thinking. That is non-thinking. No, I hate you. This is non-thinking. Because you have not analyzed why you hate someone and who the hell you are to hate someone. If I say so. You see that? Now, when I said who the hell you are to hate someone, what happens to your mind? If you are a seeker, you said, yes, this seems right. So what happens? The mind becomes light. See that? This is what happens in the journey of the delusion. So 6 factor is the intellectual paralysis. This is what I call the intellectual paralysis. So once you have the intellectual paralysis, so I wrote the 7th factor is constant changing desire. So again, you have a constant changing desire. That is because of the foolishness. So the 7 factors causes the vicious circle in you on a given day when you are unhappy. Tell me clearly on this New Year's Day, are you really happy? Am I aware of that state of the happiness inside? Or you are just keeping all your foolishness aside to express happiness and they will return. They should not return. So we have the 5-step program. And the first, the start, the thinking. Oh, I have an anxiety. Let me think it over. What is the cause and effect? And that is the first step. What is the first step? I have challenging the false assumption. Why I challenge the false assumption? Because my master, Eastern wisdom, says that all my suffering comes from this false assumption, mistaken identity. Can you remember this on this New Year's Day? I request you and plead you to remember that all my stress, suffering, duality, conflict begins with the false assumption, mistaken identity, wrong notion in my life. So once you recognize that, this is because of the wrong notion, so let me start thinking. So conscious thinking. So the master says, what is the conscious thinking in the Eastern wisdom? Conscious thinking in the Eastern wisdom is the process of discernment and dispassion. So discernment results into dispassion, and dispassion results into the instant state of the calmness, relaxation, withdrawal of the sense organs, a level of endurance. I have been telling you in the practice that please endure as you are breathing. So, because of the discernment and dispassion, you have the 6 treasures of the mind. You open those treasures and they are applied in your life. Are you getting it? So you see what I said? You challenge the false assumption. How to challenge the false assumption? By the process of discernment, not being judgmental. And then what happens? You are not judgmental. You continue to discern 1 day, 2nd day, 3rd day, 4th day. And then you see, oh, kind of a dispassion. What is that dispassion? Pick up the 7 factors. Attachment, no. It's a kind of non-attachment is there. Instantly. Normally people say, I'm very sensitive. It is because of your attachment and ego. And now that is gone. So you feel a sense of relief. Dispassion is there. And that dispassion, from the out of the dispassion takes, that inner treasures. We say there are 6 inner treasures in our mind. We have some treasures, gold ring and etc., or a will of paper, our papers of the home, etc. We keep it in a safe. So treasure is always kept in a safe. So if you believe in God, so God has kept these treasures in our safe inside us. We need to open it. So by discernment and dispassion, it opens up. First, opens up. Now this mind is experiencing the calmness from inside. How the attachment comes. Think of it. Because if my 5 sense organs are not open and the mind do not go out to pick up an object and a person and a relationship, then only I have an attachment and uh, emotional and intellectual paralysis. So the second treasure comes, the mind now is aware that these sense organs are meant to perceive the world, not to get attached. Second treasure. So you have a sense withdrawal naturally. That is the second treasure. So you look at the beauty in the world, you don't look the world with the attachment. with the strong likes and dislikes. Second treasure, third treasure, samdam uparati. Uparati, a status quo continues, calmness and peace continues, and when you move from one action to the other. Fourth one is the endurance. Because the world is constantly changing. Today is cold, tomorrow is hot. So I have to learn the endurance. I cannot change the entire world. Oh, let there be only cold. For example, you see, you are breaking the false assumption. You are breaking the delusion. How? Just by an awareness, just by constant contemplation and reflection. And then what happens? Because once those four treasures awakens in our mind, what happens? First time you experience a deep sense of a faith in the knowledge of the Eastern wisdom. So we say the faith in the Eastern wisdom is breaking the wrong notion. I will talk in detail about this. So when you break the wrong notion, there is a natural faith. And the sixth treasure is known as samadhanam. Samadhanam is the solution. Now you have already started the remedial steps. The first step after challenging the false assumption, and the second step I have explained it deeply, that is known as the satsang, and you find that now you are calm and relaxed. Delusion is gone. But no, we have to further work that how this delusion leads me from ignorance to wisdom. So I continue to work in my daily life. That is the third step. And the fourth step, what happens? Now I can instantly, clearly recognize this is false and this is real. This is false and this is real. And what is the fifth? This is just a repetition. I said you are working on the mind. Instead, the mind is working on you. Can you imagine? Just think that you are 100% working on the mind. Instead, the mind is working on you. So you remember, Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Govindam Bhaj Murdhamate, oh foolish mind. Remember this, that you are of the nature of peace and happiness. You have reached to that. Not only that, we reach to another state of realization. What is that realization? A sense of emotional freedom. You are living with everyone. You love everyone. You respect everyone. You convey your expert thought minus emotional dependence. And you start with your family. Initially, what happens? You wake up in the morning, you see your son. What the heck you are doing? Emotional attachment. Rest in peace. Everyone has kids, you know. Let the kids live in their freedom, you know. Unless they tell you to ask you, or you set an example. You set an example. I was remembering while taking a shower, I have never left not bathing on a single day since 2007 when I came to States. So you ask the mind to stick on one thing. You pick up any physical habit and stick to it. What is going to happen? It is going to change the mind. Good habit. Or perhaps many people have not joined the session because of the hangover, the New Year's Eve. No, I cannot say that. So see that, understand that clearly. So this realization that a sense of emotional freedom should come in my life. I was not hanging at the time of the birth, and why should I hang now? That mind is living in the wisdom. And the step two of the realization, that how because of the foolishness, I declare I'm the body, and then I'm the husband, I'm the wife. Then I create I create the false self. I move from the false self to the secondary self, and husband is not there in a man. Can you show me where is the wife in a woman? Can you show me? Can you show the teacher here in this weird guy? There is no teacher. These labels are for a particular expression of relationship so that we can function in the world. Do you go to a seminar and first introduction is that now I'm a husband? You are not. Or I'm a wife. See that? That step, step two is the realization that I'm not secondary self, I'm not the false self. No, not at all. Not at all. I'm none of this. Because if I am, then I told you, remember the word hurry, worry, and curry. As a husband, then I'm stressed. Then, I have to, as a father, I'm stressed. As a mother, I'm stressed. As an expert, I'm stressed. Only the stress is the life. Because I own as if I am only the husband. Behind that husband, I'm the real self. Behind that women, I am the real self. So what is going to happen? It is going to break the identification with the body. Angam galitam palitam mundam. And I told you this body continues. That is what the message is. I translated in a different way to make it easy to understand. So the very, I would say, what is the exact translation? If I do the literal translation, Angam galitam palitam mundam dashana vihinam jatam tundam. Do you see that this body continues to decay? We say I'm 65 years old. No, I have 65 years of my life has gone. The destructive process in the body, catabolic processes have started. I gave an example. He was very close to Obama in those days when I was in New Jersey. He said, "Sir, I'm 75." Very good. So now why I have this problem? I did not have any problem when I was 30 years old. Simple answer, you are not the body. You are not the body. Look at it. Look at the clarity. I'm not the body. Body is subjected to the laws of the nature. It has to follow the laws of the nature. I cannot reverse. I can postpone. I can delay it. Feeling stressed, take energy drink or practice meditation. Choice is yours. Huh? Choice is yours. Either you practice meditation, you live into that level of energy which is coming from inside you, or you create an artificial situation in the body. Choice is yours. Look at this. This is the way the Bhaj Govindam. I just wanted to repeat on the New Year's Day what we have done. Nature has scripted the transition of the body. Should I accept this? Do you know when you are going to have a particular disease after 2 years? Nature has scripted it. When it comes, I have to endure, I have to face it, I have to see what is the best way to get out of it. So that script is very natural and clear to every living being. I heard that, when the lion, I was looking at the Discovery Channel. So those lions, when they become old, they are abundant and ultimately they die. That lion, which used to be the king of that group, they wait for their kids to finish eating and whatever is left, that is the journey. Only difference that we are self-aware human beings. So if I am giving and contributing to my relations and family, they are bound to contribute to me also, instead of fighting, instead of living in the delusion. We are self-aware. We have a choice. So another part that we are going to cover is that how to contribute. So if I'm contributing physically, mentally, and emotionally to everyone or to the world, that helps a great deal that our life goes smoothly. Seven plus five plus two. 7 plus 5 plus 2. Remember this. Bhaj Govindam. Bhaj Govindam. The entire text explains that how to overcome the suffering. And Master says suffering is caused by the delusion. And I have already explained in the 7 factors. So, how to overcome the suffering? That is the first step. But how to enter into the higher states of the consciousness, to have an inner freedom and the joy. I cannot have a proxy for this. I have to do my self discovery. One more aspect so that you can think of it. Uh, the entire Eastern wisdom I can summarize in a different way. There are 3 pairs in the mind constantly working. It is because of couple of factors in the 7 factors, couple of factors from these 7 factors. So the first cause of the delusion are 3 pairs: likes and dislikes, victory and defeat, pain and pleasure. These opposing tendencies are constantly working in our life. And if I'm non thinking, if I'm living in foolishness, what the heck, you are responsible for giving me the pain. You see, pain and pleasure. It's my perception from inside. Likes and dislikes, my perception inside. It has nothing to do with anyone outside. Victory and defeat. Did the sun rise differently today? So that is why it is a happy new year. You see, likes and dislikes. You have to go very deep, contemplate and reflect. Why not every day is a happy new year? At least I can say happy new year today. So I can have couple of packs of vodka. Likes and dislikes, victory and defeat, pain and pleasure. First factor are the 3 pairs. Second factor is the 3 gunas, 3 qualities: sato, rajo, and tamo guna, the interplay of the 3 gunas. Where is the interplay? Just think of it, I'll tell you. I say SRT, that is a balanced life. Where is the SRT? S means satoguna is 80%, rajoguna is 15%, tamoguna is 5%. Now, if it is TRS, tamoguna is 80%, 15% is rajoguna, and satoguna is only 5%. Satoguna means knowledge, clarity. Rajoguna means hyperactivity, hurry, worry, and curry. Tamoguna means laziness. I am very lazy to even think of it. So just opposite, TRS. So the another three factors, three kinds of suffering. We never think and contemplate on the three kinds of the suffering. First is the physical, and any kind personal suffering. You say the personal suffering. I'm suffering from a particular disease in the body or the mind. Second is the I invite unnecessarily the suffering from the nature or natural calamities. And the third group of the suffering is purely mental. Out of the three kinds of the suffering, the mental accounts for 90%. That even causes you the physical suffering. Third factor. And the fourth factor, we have the four weaknesses. Again, it results into the delusion. What are binding desire? Hesitation, unnecessary hesitation. Someone knocks, oh, what happened? Who's there? Well, someone knocks the door, calm down. Go there, check. Unnecessary hesitation in your life. Unnecessary. Reaction. And fourth is because of the binding desire, mind is constantly repeating this binding desire, which is in the form of a greed. And these three factors causes a tremendous fear in our life. Unknown fears, which we brand as an unknown fears. I'm anxious. Unnecessary fears. I wanted to summarize the whole so that we can start in a better way on the so-called the new year on this so that you remember and repeat it. Let us close our eyes and we'll move to the next verse in the following session, my friends. So eyes are closed and you are comfortable and carefree. Can you recall? Can you start thinking what is being comfortable? You reflect on it. And when you reflect, it goes into the body. You feel comfort and you feel carefree. And that, you see the practical experience that I now move into the state of comfort and steadiness. I don't care the unwanted, undesirable thoughts that are entering into the mind. Let them come and go. My awareness and attention is on the mantra. That is the best way to celebrate the new year. Sarve Sham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarve Sham Swastir Bhavatu. You can also chant in your mind. Sarve Sham Swastir Bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. This is the, when you express, when you wish someone happy new year, this is what you mean. But do you mean mechanically or do you mean with awareness? That internally your peace, your happiness is being expressed as why? I made it 100% clear because happiness is our essential nature. I contribute happiness in your life. In turn, I get a reward of your contribution of happiness towards me. But I don't expect from you. That should be the intent. Now, if I have that intent, then that is what I told you, the step two of the realization you are missing. You have created a second false self and the secondary self, which is expecting happiness. You see how I'm explaining these verses in the practice. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. You all are contributing in my life about peace in my life. Why? Because I'm able to express before you these principles, which gives me the peace. I'm thankful to you. This is a contribution. That is the nature of the mind we should have. And if we have that nature of the mind, how dare the delusion can enter into your life? Do you see all the seven factors are gone? But if it is just the opposite, so I'm selfish, ego, fifth factor. So now are you clear why we are expressing? I'm selfish, I'm contributing, I'm expressing peace and happiness. And I'm thankful to you because you all allow me. Do I have that intent in the mind all the time? What is going to happen to your life? Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness in all. I gave you another meaning. I'm complete in myself, and you all are complete in yourself. Complete means all the necessities which the mind is craving is gone. Clear? But still, we are living in the same society, same family. So, how to live? Just to express peace and happiness. Only work is left to contribute. So, only work left for the Buddha, my master, and many other great masters. They have only one work is left. Do you see that? Can I have that state of the mind? And that is known as the awakening. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Are you clear? May there be an auspiciousness for all. No, my honey is expressing in anger. Let me continue to express in auspiciousness. Why? Because I'm living not in delusion. If one is living in the delusion, I can express in auspiciousness. So sometimes I have to withdraw my mind. I have to remain calm. Sometimes I have to push with a conviction, with a clarity, and that will come naturally to our life. Now, now that is the first stage, and now the second stage we will add the breathing part. Look deep inside. Look deep inside the forehead in the space and drop Om Shanti. So you are expressing Om Shanti. Mentally, you're asking the mind, continue to express peace, peace, peace. And start breathing quick and short breath through both the nostrils into the rib cage. So there we are clearing the unorganized, foolish mind that has entered into the body unconsciously, impulsively, habitually. That is the purpose of the breathing. Continue. Continue, just breathe. Just continue. And I told you, you all remember, I know, resist. So endurance will come naturally to you. That means what? You have done the discernment and dispassion. What we talk about, that effect of that commitment. Any resistance and reaction to the breathing by the mind, it is caused by the four factors I explained briefly: victory, defeat, pain, pleasure, likes, dislikes, three gunas, three kinds of this suffering. I explained you. So now you are fully aware. You are in charge of the mind. So you in charge of the mind means you endure it and you continue breathing. Recognize and accept the changes that is taking place. Don't forget to say Om Shanti deep inside the forehead. Continue breathing. Om Shanti continues. Steadiness in the body continues. Accept the movement of the rib cage and those subtle movements of the mind. Mind brings in any reaction, you endure it. You have variety of experiences, you recognize and accept it without getting emotionally attached. Continue breathing, stillness in the body. You remember the power of endurance and also recognize and accept the changes. Continue. Continue breathing. Om Shanti continues. Continue. And stop it. Allow the breath to be normal. I cannot really explain you the magic behind doing the 9 minutes each of the breathing. And today we have done for 9 minutes. Pay attention to the flow of the breath, and you will see the flow of the breath tends to be equal. That is how one master who taught me, he says, tantras say that 9 minutes is the minimum. And today we have achieved on the New Year's Day. You endure it, you recognize and accept the changes that is taking place, and that is enough because our level of awareness goes up temporarily so that we can move the mind deeper within. Now, looking inside the forehead in the space and Om Shanti. And now the belly breathing. We'll only be doing for 2 minutes the belly breathing. Belly breathing only. So, but think of it if you do 9 minutes of each breathing on a given day. We will do it one day. And allow the breath to be normal. Pay attention to the flow of the breath in the state of total stillness in the body. Maybe you might be experiencing the state of the calmness and the quietness along with the stillness in the body. My personal experience, there definitely is some magic in doing it 9 minutes each. And today we have achieved one kind of breathing for 9 minutes. You will find as if the mind is withdrawn inside, body freezes. Sometimes we explain it as transcending the body, but it's natural. And now is the time to drop the Om Shanti on the 16 segments of the fingers. But you remember, it's very easy for you to drop Om Shanti, keeping all the senses or senses inside the mind. Mind's eye, mind's tongue, mind's touch. Everything is happening in the mind itself. You're mentally visualizing the segment of a finger instead of doing it physically. That is a great stride, great and deeper step. Sometimes the mind goes to the fingers and it starts doing it physically. Just become aware. It's okay. Om Shanti. You're saying Om Shanti. So it is the mind's eye, mind's touch, mind's tongue, mind's ear. They are playing their role. So what it means, it's a withdrawal of the senses from the external world. So it's a thought image of the first segment, thought image of the second segment. But why we do it? That's where the transformation of the mind takes place. And now, move the mind deep inside the cave of your heart, equilateral triangle, moving the mind on the each side, dropping Om Shanti to think, to check if the mind is moving without any reaction or resistance, there is a sync. And the moment you achieve that sync while saying mentally, Om, pushing the mind deep inside, mind seemingly stops. Shanti, and now you are almost, which I say self absorption. It may be a total emptiness or nothingness, or you are awaiting a revelation or an awakening. many ways we use to express this. Well, if the mind is distracted, you can return again to the triangle, sink, and then insight. You know the path is clear. But if you are aware of the distraction, then only you can return. So, lack of awareness, that is what we have been understanding. Mm. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We're not in a hurry. Bring your mind on the right hand Here, mine on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences and bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences. One request in this new year, my Google Drive, I save all these audio files and share it with one Google Drive. So if the limit goes up, I already have almost 8 terabyte of audio files because of different people. So every time you receive it, it's better to download and save it in your, because I'm going to delete the previous year files. Otherwise, they are going to raise my subscription. Yes, David.
Thank you, sir. Happy New Year. What a great way to start the new year. The lesson was, very clear, very simple, very good fundamental practice. At the beginning of it, when you said get comfortable and relaxed, and it's really losing any attachment to any feelings in your body or pains in your body and just letting go. And I have no comment on the 9-minute breathing. It felt very quick. It didn't feel like 9 minutes at all. But just very, very pleasant and deep. Thank you.
Beautiful. Simple explanation, but very clear. Thank you. How are you, Jerry?
Thank you, sir. I'm good. I think that's ironic that we say Happy New Year and may there be health and happiness and prosperity, because we know that's always there. So when we say that, it's almost more about being aware of if there's the delusion there, or if there's if you're not happy, like you said, if you're saying that but you're not happy, or you feel anxious, or you're complaining and blaming, well, then we have to hammer that. So it's an opportunity as seekers. Then we go, oh, well, there's an opportunity to have an auspicious moment.
It is because of that, Eastern wisdom and our masters lay great importance on becoming a seeker. Because only the seeker can listen and realize. Non-seekers will take it for granted. You're right. That's yeah. I say Happy New Year, but inside there is nothing. Then it will not work. Beautiful sharing. How are you, Terry?
I had a very aware practice, aware each time I deviated from the, like I had a few little, my mind was showing me irrelevant things. Like at one point I had a little dream, like a dream that I walked up some stairs.
Okay.
And I thought, what the hell are you doing? So I walked back down. And then I said, wait a minute, you're supposed to be meditating.
Good.
Then I went back to the, had a lot of trouble maintaining the multitasking of the Om Shanti.
And breathing.
Yeah. But I did work on it, and that went pretty well.
Pretty well.
Got lost in the fingers. Like I got completely lost.
Yeah. You need to do 18 minutes of 3 types of breathing every day. But we will reach there.
Uh-huh.
because of your challenges.
Well, if I did the one, I guess I can eventually.
Yes, you can do it. That's a beautiful. I would see that for a couple of months, we don't see you in before and after the practice, even before there was no tremors in the body. Yes,
Not, yeah.
that is beautiful. That is definitely a change.
Oh,
Yeah, how are you, Kristen?
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
I've been noticing a background peace and quiet every day more consistently, and can really see the value of continued practice. Because even though I listen every day and practice every day in between our sessions, the mind can get on a loop.
Yeah,
And so this is,
yeah, you rightly said in the background, I see the peace and happiness. And so, what happens in the delusion? The mind perceives the delusion. Mind perceives one of the seven factors in the background. That is the only difference. So, these seven factors causes the delusion, and when you are seeing it, it means you are already raising your awareness. Beautiful. How are you, Dennis?
Thank you. It was a deep and calm meditation with equal breathing. At the end, I was observing the mind with all the thoughts and sensations, remaining detached and aware at the same time.
Beautiful. That is what we learned today. That the moment you remain detached, or you are in that state of the detachment, peace is already there. If I use your phrase that you remain detached, so what happens in the background? You see the peace and happiness, and so in the very beginning, I said the consciousness cannot become foolish. You have to understand it clearly. So that is where the discernment works. Here is the mind, and here is the consciousness. And if I am the consciousness, obviously I see in the background the peace and happiness. How are you, Vaibhav?
Thank you, sir. So practice was calm. It was peaceful. It was easy. The same point that you were just referring, that I picked up, my mind also picked up that point, that the consciousness cannot be crazy. The craziness is there in the mind. So it creates a complete separation between the two, and it can realize me that when I'm aware about something, and when mind start creating those stories about that something, so there's a complete separation, and I can be stay away from that, and it will remain peaceful.
Complete separation starts with the process of discernment, and it enters into the state of a dispassion where you experience the separation. And the moment you experience the separation, there is already a peace and happiness. That is how I summarized all your experiences. And that is all. Again, Happy New Year. Thank you. We will meet
Thank you.
you.
Thank
Namaste.
you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Namaste.